welcome everyone to another grand episode of Stace and Barry in the morning. Having a jazz. No, not having a jazz. Having a jazz, please. I don't know what I was singing then.
When you cut yourself off briefly, I genuinely thought you were going to say having a jack off, and I thought, Barry, that's not the way we want to start an episode.
Any conversation should not be started like that.
Yeah, absolutely not. You've got to ease into it. Anyway.
Well, hopefully it's the weekend wherever you are and you're listening to Stace and Barry in the morning. I am the Barry half of the gorgeous breakfast couple that is Stace and Barry, which only leaves the other half, which is my lovely co-host, Stace.
Hello. I like the fact that that this intro you've managed to say that we're a gorgeous couple and that I'm lovely, because for some reason usually you accidentally backhanded compliment me.
I have to go back and listen now, do I? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or you use the word rib tickling, which upsets me. I don't know why. I don't like that as a term.
Okay.
It upsets me a little bit.
Okay.
But anyway, yes, hello, I'm here. I'm definitely here.
Yeah. So welcome to Stace Has a Dig at Barry in the morning.
Look, I'm going to preface this by saying that I think I might have COVID, so I'm not really feeling 100% myself.
Oh, okay. Why are we recording if you think you got COVID, goddammit? You should be in bed or taking some kind of medication, or I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
I have popped all of the pills. No, let's not encourage let's not encourage that. I've taken a prescribed amount of sensible tablets for this ailment. I don't know if it's actually COVID or not, because we've only got quite old COVID tests left and I'm not 100% sure that they even are in date and work. But I have got a very sore throat and a pounding headache, which is how COVID started for me last time.
Right.
But the reason I'm here and I'm not curled up in bed is because I wanted to talk to you.
So that I could give you a backhanded compliment and never did.
Well, no, you did it. You did a nice one this time, which was good, because I didn't even tell you beforehand that I was feeling delicate.
Oh, there we go. It's like I sensed it and acted appropriately and accordingly.
Yeah. Sense something off with my virtual aura or something. I don't know. I can't words. It's going to be good, this one.
It's going to be a cracker. Yeah. This is going to be one for the ages that, like, in years to come, people will hand down from, like, father to son and mother to daughter and be like, I was there when this episode came out.
This is going to win all of the independent podcast awards, even though neither of us are going to pay to enter it.
Yeah, this will probably win an Oscar. There isn't even a category for podcasts.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. They should introduce a category for film podcasts, so neither of us can win it, because we don't want to pay for the privilege of maybe getting shortlisted. Probably not.
So I've got my speech all sorted for it anyway.
I was having, we can start the episode proper after I've said this, but I was having a bit of a rant on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, the other day about podcast awards, because I keep getting emailed about different podcast awards and they're like, enter your podcast, it's going to be great, you're like, what cool, what a time. And then I look at the website and like, I'm in that annoying place, right, where I know that all awards are sort of technically bollocks, but also a little part of me really wants one.
Yeah.
Like I know that they're just like, they're not even like legit half the time, but also wouldn't it be nice? But then I look at the website and I'm like, hold on, you're getting sponsored by like 53 big names in like audio entertainment and recording and whatever, and you want me to pay £200 to pop my podcast in your ears just for a judging panel to probably go, yeah, that's not getting shortlisted, lads.
Whilst they count the cash.
Yeah, whilst they have a bath in my 20s. Like, absolutely not. And there was another one that came out that was like, hey, this one's specifically for independent podcasts, but it's still 30 quid. And I'm like, I know 30 quid's not really an awful lot, but like, you're not going to shortlist me, so what am I paying 30 quid for? I've got no faith in my podcast, is what I'm saying. Anyway, should we do a podcast?
Let's do a podcast.
I've got faith in this one because you're on it.
Like wants to like send us some sort of an award for no particular reason, or send Stace an award, that'd be great. Yeah, send Stace an award.
Even if it's a nonsense award, like I don't know, best dancing, even though that's not true, I'd really appreciate it. I do actually have one award on my shelf, but it's not for podcasts. Anyway, should we do one? And by that I mean a podcast, not leave.
Let's get a segment.
Trumpets. Jazz. Those trumpets had a lot more energy than I feel like I've got.
Oh, bless you.
What are we doing? What are we doing first?
How about we start with musical musings that will get your blood going?
Okay. Well, do you follow friend of my podcast and friend of me, Vince Hunt, on the socials?
I do follow Vince, yes.
Excellent. The other day, he was all like, I'm going to post a soundtrack a week because I bloody love a soundtrack, me. And I was like, oh, what a gent. And he reminded me of the soundtrack to Mad Max Fury Road that I'd sort of forgotten about, and I don't know why, because it's really good. And because of his tweet, I was like, oh, I'm going to put that in my ears today. So I had a very dramatic day at work trying to make an infographic to the sounds of Mad Max Fury Road. So yeah, I picked a track called Brothers in Arms, which is very, very exciting. It's the sort of big sort of action, well, I say the big action set piece thing. That movie is mostly action set pieces.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's one of them. It's the soundtrack to one of them. It's by Junkie XL, aka Tom. Oh no, I forgot to write his name down. Hulkenberg, is that right?
Yeah, I think that is right.
Oh God, my brain. I've just got no faith in any of the words that I'm saying. But yeah, it's a really amazing soundtrack. It's very orchestral and very sort of dramatic and hero-y, and at the same time, it's got like a very sort of industrial, clanging metal sound. Which suits the movie perfectly, I think. The whole soundtrack is great, but this particular track is incredibly dramatic and kind of tremendous. So yeah, that's my pick.
Nice. I've never listened. I mean, obviously, I've seen the film. I really enjoyed the film, but I've never listened to the soundtrack for that. So I will put that in my ears actually.
I think you should, because I believe you liked the soundtrack that he did for, I want to say, Zack Snyder's Justice League, maybe.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
And I think it's a little bit in that vein, but a bit more sort of like industrial, metallic sounding. I don't know if that's selling it or not, but to me, that's a good thing. So,
I will give it a listen. See.
Do it. Well, you're going to have to, because you edit this show and you put the
I've got the choice. So
you've got to at least listen to that one.
I've got to at least listen to at least a minute and 20 seconds of it.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy that minute and 20 seconds.
I will. I'll let you know.
Cool.
So my pick, I think you'll like, because I'm fairly confident. In fact, I know you've listened to this album because you've told me you listened to this album, and in fact, you've actually picked from this album. But I don't believe as yet I have picked from this album, and I don't care if I'm picking from an album you've already picked from.
It's our podcast. We'll do what we want.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do what I goddamn please, and then I'll give myself an award for doing it. The award for doing whatever he goddamn pleases goes to Brian Nugent. I'd like to thank everyone for letting me do what I goddamn please.
I really want you to send me your address after this. Obviously not on the podcast, that being insane, so that I can just like randomly post an award to your house at some point in the future. Hopefully when you've forgotten about it, and then you're like, fuck is this?
Yeah. I'll never forget. I'll be like, this is the award, and I'll do a video of me thanking everyone and then bursting into tears or something.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah. So I haven't listened to the whole album as yet. I was sort of skipping around. But this pick comes from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, baby.
I thought you'd like that. Which is by Daniel Pemberton, is the score. The track that I've picked is called I Beat Them All.
Nice.
And the reason I picked it is obviously, like, there's a lot of heavy lifting going on in this album in terms of, like, just, I don't know, it's just phenomenal, some of the music in this.
Yep.
But there was just something about this track that I really liked because it was kind of quite simple. And there's a nice kind of subtle undertone of, like, Miles's theme running through it as well.
Yeah.
So it really kind of packs quite an emotional punch, I think, anyway, especially if you know the scene this comes from, which I'm choosing my words carefully. I all I will say is the scene with his mum. That's not spoiling it. I think that scene kind of hit me because I could see that me having that conversation with my mum.
Yeah.
So I really liked this piece of music. And I really like the soundtrack. As I said, I've not listened to it all, and I'm planning to. I want to give honourable mention to the very last track, which is Across the Spider-Verse, Start a Band.
Yeah.
That's a pretty epic piece of music.
In it though.
Which needs to be, given how the film ends, and it doesn't disappoint.
The again, all awards are bollocks and I don't believe in them, but I will forever be a little bit salty that Daniel Pemberton did not get an Oscar nom for this bad boy.
Yeah.
Because this entire soundtrack is fire. It's so good and it's so, like, it works so perfectly with the film. I'm one of those people who I'm like, I don't really care about awards, and yet I will get very upset on somebody's behalf if I feel like like they've been slighted by them somehow. Not that I think he cares, because he's... Oh, that reminds me, actually, just talking about this. So you and I briefly talked about this film on the recent episode of Stacey's Pop Culture Parlour, What You Were On. Mm-hmm. And I wondered aloud about whether they were going to go on tour doing the film accompanied by a live orchestra with Across the Spider-Verse, because they did it to Into the Spider-Verse, and it was like one of my favourite things of last year. Yeah. And literally 2 days after we recorded, Christopher Miller announced that they were going on tour with Across the Spider-Verse with an orchestra. So I am keeping a beady eye on when the heck that is going to land in the UK, because I am putting it in my eyes and ears instantly, and I'm going to have to bribe someone to come with me because Rich does not want to. When he came to see Into the Spider-Verse with me, we walked out and I was like, I was buzzing, like, oh my God, that was the best thing I'd ever seen. And he was like, I don't think I like live orchestras when I'm trying to watch a movie. And I was like, oh no, stress.
I think to kind of put a different hat on it, I can kind of see in one respect where Rich is coming from. I think the whole live orchestra thing, I think very much depends on the film.
Yeah.
I don't think every film it works for. And interestingly, when I went to see it for Raise the Lost Ark, they did it. Don't get me wrong, I loved the orchestra.
Yeah.
And I think it worked really well. But my problem was I also wanted to watch the film.
Yeah.
And the thing was, the sound for the actual film itself, for the dialogue, was awful. I can't even, it might have only been in subtitles, I don't know. But the actual vocal stuff was awful. So there were times I actually couldn't hear what was being said. Now, I know there's someone out there that's going, yeah, but you've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark 100 times, bro, so you could probably, like, say it verbatim. Yes, I could, but I wanted the full experience. I wanted the orchestra, but I also wanted the dialogue to go with it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. That sounds like you had a pretty shitty experience, because I've only ever been to two before. I've been to Jurassic Park and Into the Spider-Verse, and both of those were really well. They were both at the Symphony Hall in Birmingham, and both of those, the sound was really good on the movie itself.
I mean, it didn't stop my enjoy. I mean, I still really enjoyed the experience of it.
No, I think I would be annoyed if I couldn't really watch the film and enjoy the orchestra at the same time. Because you might as well just see the orchestra then, if that's the case. Yeah, it just took a little something from it. But I still really enjoyed it. And I don't want people to go away from that thinking I didn't really enjoy it. But yeah, it was just a little note. I think Rich just found it distracting. He was like, I either want to watch a film or I want to see an orchestra. I don't want to try and do both at once. Fair. I'll give you that. Swings and roundabouts, isn't it? One man's trash and all that.
Yeah.
Good choices, B.
Good choices, Stace.
I feel like I should give an honourable mention there, but I didn't plan one and I'll panic, so I won't.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't got one. I haven't got one in my brain because my brain's mush.
I tell you what, I've been looking at Daniel Pemberton's output, what he's been doing and what he's done and stuff. I tell you, he's someone to watch because it's only a matter of time. I mean, he's been knocking out some really cracking soundtracks and stuff. But I think it's only a matter of time before he actually gets, I don't know, he ends up on like a Marvel film if he's not already done one, or like a Star Wars or something.
Yeah, I just like, I think, not to get too much on my high horse, but I just think animated movies get overlooked in a lot of ways for award stuff, and it bothers me when like there's really good voice performances that there's not even a category for that. I don't think. Is there? Now that I think about it, I don't think so. Yeah, there's like voice performances. There's like, I know there's like best animated feature, but like, God, the amount of effort that goes into an animated movie, and then and like the scores and stuff, like people are just sleeping on so much stuff awards wise. But again, they don't mean anything, so I shouldn't get upset about it. Oh, I don't know why my brain is like, rationally it knows awards are stupid, but like irrationally it's like, give me and all the people I love in particular awards, shower us with praise, validate me. Shall I break out the trumpets?
Break them out.
Jazz. Shall I do my pick of the fortnight?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. It's not really geeky, but it is something that I appreciated a lot. So, and it is the best thing that I've seen since we last recorded something, which was the parlour only last week. I just didn't want to have the same conversation with you again. I was like, no, I can't do that. That's not value for the no money people give us for this.
Value for money.
I went to see a film called Wicked Little Letters, and it's one of my favourite things of this year so far. I know it's only February, the end of February, so it's triple mouth, but this is a film starring Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley, and it's based on a true story from like the 1920s, where this like little village, I think it was called Little Hampton. Oh no, I should have made better notes. I knew I was tired and sick. Yeah, Little Hampton. So basically, back in like the 1920s, this bird moved to Little Hampton from Ireland, and she sort of started off a friendship with a lady. Her name was Rose. Started off with a friendship with a lady called Edith. And then, like, I don't want to go too much into it because of spoilers, but like people in the village start receiving like horrible letters that are just like, hey, this film isn't for people with sensitive ears, because it's just loads of letters like, you're a fucking little shitty little prick and I hope you die of syphilis. And like the letters specific. Are, well, there's so many, like I think in one of them they call somebody a fucking onion, which I found really funny. great fucking onion. I love, those like sort of insults that aren't really that insulting, but you're a little bit like, what? Like there's an episode of I Think You Should Leave where somebody calls somebody else a fucking skunk, and I think that's really funny. But yeah, so then the whole town like erupts, and there's like a court case over it, and it's just trying to find out like who it is who's sending these like really horrendous, awful letters to people. And it's such a funny film. like again, have to reiterate, if you've got even the slightest of sensitive ears, it is not for you, because you will hear the word fuck, the word prick, the word whore. Like there's so much awful fucking onions happening in this film. But it's genuinely, like, stupidly funny. I adore Jessie Buckley anyway. I don't think there's ever been a thing that I've seen her in where I've been like, well, she was a bit crap. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if the film itself isn't very good, I'm always like, Jessie Buckley, value for money. But it's genuinely a really hilarious film, and it kind of made my day, because I've been to see a few fairly new films this year and come out of a lot of them thinking they were either middling to bad. So it was nice to go and see a new movie and come out of it and be like, hey, that's a 4.5 star and a love heart. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. I think it's very, very funny. I don't think it deviates too much from what actually happened with the case either, which is quite nice, because I'm a very gullible person and I will watch like a film that's, you know, ostensibly based on a true story and believe that everything in it exactly happens. I think I went to see the film about Brian Clough with Rich, and I came out of it and I was like, wow, I can't believe he did that. And Rich was like, he didn't. I'm like, oh. I should have learnt more things about Brian Clough before I saw this movie. But yeah, it's full of like really great performances. It's very, very funny, very, very sweary. It's right in my juvenile comedy wheelhouse. So yeah, wicked little letters. Give it a whirl. Cool. Why don't you?
I have heard of this film actually. Because I've forgotten the name now. Yeah, Olivia Colman was on Graham Norton talking about it, and I think they showed a clip of it. And I thought, okay, maybe. Oh,
it really, really made me laugh. So, yeah. Like proper, like, do you ever do that thing in the cinema where you laugh really loudly at something that everybody else has just sort of either vaguely chuckled at or not laughed at all, and you start to worry that maybe you're a weird person? That happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
Good film. I liked it a lot, and I ate a really big piece of chocolate orange cake while I watched it. So
winner.
In it though, thank you, Electric Cinema, and whoever it is who bakes your cakes.
Not Mr. Kipling.
No, it's like somebody obviously bakes them because they've got them under like a fancy cloche. That's what you call it, isn't it? That, you know, one of those dinner reveal things. Barry, why don't you say some words before I become hysterical?
Before we round up with some Saturday morning comics, I don't have a pick of the fortnight. Instead of me not saying my pick of the fortnight, because I don't have a pick of the fortnight, I was just scanning the old interweb. I had no idea that they were doing a remake of The Crow.
Oh, so I knew they were doing one, but I have purposefully not really looked into it. But I did happen across one photograph today.
Yes, which is what I've literally just seen.
And I truly don't know how I feel about it. Oh no, I could get myself in a lot of trouble here.
Go on. Go.
I don't think I watched The Crow at the right time in my life, and therefore I'm not that bothered by The Crow. But I know, like, my mum and my sister, for example, fucking love The Crow. And I know a lot of people who fucking love The Crow. So like, I'm assuming it's actually a good film and I was just being a bozo. But this photo, I don't know.
I have to say, I watched The Crow when it came out, and again, it's that thing of these were like the days before, you know, comic book films and superhero films were like 10 a penny. So when you got something like this, you kind of ate it up like Haagen-Dazs. Do you know what I mean? And I thought it was wicked. I really liked it. Some stupid bad guys though, because there's a bit where he literally just walks into a room and he's like, all I want is him, and I would be like, just take him.
You can have him, sir. You look like a maniac.
And instead they try to gut him down, and then it all goes to shit. Yeah. I just think it's one of those films. I don't want to be that geek that's kind of like, oh, one else can do this apart from that person. No, I don't want to be that person. However, just Brandon Lee kind of made that character. You know what I mean? In terms of the film, I know it's based on a comic, but in terms of the film, whenever I think of The Crow, I think of Brandon Lee as The Crow. And when I saw the picture of, I what's his name? Bill Skarsgård, I think he is. He's playing.
Oh, is it him?
Yeah.
I didn't even get that far. I literally just saw a photo and thought, ugh.
Yeah, and I saw the picture and I thought, so here's my thing is, one, I thought, who are you supposed to be? He didn't, and it's what's it? One, he doesn't even look like I'm not saying he should have long hair, but he just doesn't. If I hadn't have seen that picture, if I hadn't have seen the article to go with it, if someone had just sent me the picture, I wouldn't have thought, oh, is this what the new Crow's going to look like?
Mm.
He just looks like a dude with some makeup on, with abs. Could be anyone.
Yeah.
And interestingly, someone else has put him side by side of a picture of the Joker, as in Jared Leto playing the Joker. And I thought,
no.
I thought,
that is what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I knew there was something like... I tell you what it was for me. He looks too... And this is going to sound ridiculous because he is like a man slapped in loads of makeup with a weird hairdo, but he looks too clean cut to me. Like the Crow to me needs to have, like you say, like the long messy hair and look a bit like he's, one frazzled nerve away from doing you a homicide.
Yeah.
I looked at that picture and I thought this guy looks like he's going to try and, like, I don't know, offer to do something at a rave with me or something. Like I don't get intimidating vibes from him. I get like, let's go fucking crazy on drugs vibes from him, which I wasn't. Yeah, like I say, I don't know a lot about the character, and like maybe it'll be good. I'm a weird one.
Go on.
I was just gonna say I'm a weird one with remakes and stuff anyway, because like I just don't know what the point of remaking the Crow is. Like, it's not a character that there's a shit ton of comics out about it and like a billion people love. Like, the only people really I know that like this character are people who liked that film, and so they're probably not going to want to see this. I mean, I don't know who it's for.
It's such a weird... I think remakes can be such a weird thing sometimes because you want to remake something because it's a known property. So you think it's money in the bank. Okay, so for example, let's say they're going to remake Raiders of the Lost Ark. They would think, well, it's easy money. It's money in the bank. It's a known property. It's a known character. Everyone's going to rush to the cinema to see it. Now, that can work both positively and negatively because sometimes people rush to cinema to see it just to see it be awful.
Mm.
But as far as the execs are concerned, they don't care. They've still got their money.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I don't think I'm like... So if they were going to remake like Raiders of the Lost Ark, my simple thing would be, I'll watch it on DVD. You know what I mean? I might watch it if it comes to streaming or whatever. But I'm not going to lose my shit over it because I can quite happily go and watch Raiders of the Lost Ark anytime I want to.
Well,
so I'm not... Sorry, go on.
This is the conversation that Rich and I were having, is that he said, like, he said he took one look at it and went, that looks fucking ridiculous. But he was like, so I'm just not going to see it, or I'm going to wait until it's free and I've got time. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to run to the cinema and see it. I think my thing with remakes is that, like, or reboots or whatever, is that I feel like if you've got, like, a good enough idea, or if the film doesn't stand up anymore. But I feel like things like you say, Raiders, you could watch that now and it still fully holds its own. Like, you could show that to a kid, like a kid now, and they'd probably be just as excited as when you saw it when you were a kid, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just a really exciting, fun movie that's funny. Maybe one or two of the jokes might have dated. I don't know. I haven't seen it for a while, so I couldn't confidently say. But, like, largely, it holds up as a film that's still wholly enjoyable to watch. So it doesn't need a remake to me because I can just watch that one. Whereas there are some films where I do think, like, if they could take that idea and just make it, like, better than it was, then that'd be great. But, like, I don't... And again, I don't even really have that much of a, like, love for The Crow. But everybody I know who does, like, wouldn't want to see a remake of it because they still like it a lot.
Yeah, I said, I'm probably... And obviously, it's one photo. Do you know what I mean? I can't judge a whole film in just one photo. But However, like I'm looking at the photo now, and to me, it just looks like just trying too hard. That's just my take on it. Because I even remember in the original film when he kind of got his outfit and stuff, and it was all a bit grungy and all a bit kind of like almost like trampy. He got his outfit and stuff. Whereas this one feels like I'm gonna become the Crow. I need tattoos. I need a big jacket. Do you know what I mean?
It looks too clean and tidy to me. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier, is that even though he still looks like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not a normal bloke. Like, most people don't walk around looking like that. But it still looks like he's aiming for that aesthetic and nailing it. Whereas I feel like the Crow was just like, I'm going to fucking put this coat on and I'll kill you.
Yeah. It just so happened that the coat I put on makes me look badass. It's just, but yeah, as I said, it could be great. And I've seen reboots where they've actually taken something and gone a different way with it, and they've been able to sort of re-energize it. And maybe this will be one of those films, But I still stand, even the films even the properties and stuff that I've really liked that have been rebooted and stuff, there's still a part of me back of mine was kind of like, but there's so many other things you could do.
Yeah. I think that's what bothers me about it. Like, I don't, not to drag Disney, but I don't know why they keep just making live action versions of perfectly good animated movies.
Yeah.
Especially when a lot of them are like almost shot for shot the fucking same.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's this? Who's this for? Like, what are you doing? Make another actual movie? Drives me potty, that does. But anyway.
Anywho.
Have you got a Saturday morning? Have we got time? I've got no concept of when we started recording.
No, me neither. Until we descended down the crow hole, as I'm calling it.
Don't call it a crow hole.
Yeah, don't call it a crow hole. I've been here for years. Sorry. So give us some trumpets. I need trumpets.
Okay.
Boom. Checking that I'm actually still recording. Recording for 33 minutes. Boom. So if I'll be brief. This is good. So Saturday morning comics / kind of big of a full night. Batman White Knight.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it, but I've not read it because I don't read comics anymore because there's too many of them and they're too expensive.
Okay. Do you have you don't have Kindle Unlimited, do you?
No, I don't. No, I pretty much only now exclusively read the IDW hardbacks of all the Turtles comics. That's about it.
Okay, fair enough. So the brief blurb is. So Batman White Knight, he's been called a maniac, a killer, the clown prince of crime, but White Knight never until now. Set in a world where the Joker is cured of his insanity and homicidal tendencies, the Joker, now known as Jack, sets about trying to right his wrongs. First, he plans to reconcile with Harley Quinn, and then he'll try to save the city from the one person he thinks is truly Gotham City's greatest villain, Batman.
Okay.
And that is a pretty good blurb. And I think it was such a good blurb that I stayed away from this comic because I just thought, I don't know, it just feels really cheap. I just don't see this working.
Yeah, can it deliver?
Yeah. Boy, was I wrong. It's a corker. It's cracking. So it's written and illustrated by Sean Gordon Murphy, and the colorist is Matt Hollingsworth. The art is gorgeous on this, and really fits this. The way that they do Batman in this is really good. Handles the action really well in it. But also, it's a cracking story. It's just the idea of it is of the Joker effectively going straight. Well, you say the Joker going straight. It's almost the concept of two completely different characters inhabiting the same body. So you've got Joker and then you've got Jack Napier. But then when he starts kind of setting his sights on Batman and sort of Gotham Police and whatever, a lot of it, you kind of sit there reading it, which is why I think it's such a good story. You kind of sit there going, he's kind of got a point. You know, you almost forget at one point. You almost forget, even though they do constantly bring you back to it. But you kind of forget he's a Joker. You kind of think he's making a really good point about a lot of this. Basically, what it comes down to is like Batman and like the Gotham police have been up to sketchy shit for years. And you think about it from a reader's point of view, we lap it up because it's Batman and it's Batman. He's got his batarangs and stuff like that. Whereas he's going, yeah, but he's beating down like villains without due process, without like any kind of warrants. He's just kicking open doors and stuff, and he's kind of working for the police doing it. And the police are kind of like, no, he's not really working for us. And he's like, you've got a big fucking bat sign, dude.
You've legit got a big call button in the sky, mate.
do you know what I mean? And the way he kind of owns the police and stuff. It's really good. It's a really good story. And what I didn't realise is actually this is like the first of I think about 5 or 6 titles. So I've just started Batman: Curse of the White Knight, which I've done an issue. It's already, and there's some flashbacks and it's giving me a whole kind of Zorro vibe. But yeah, I'm loving it. And again, what I love about it is it's relatively self-contained, which is what I quite like. You could just read Batman White Knight and be done.
Yeah.
Which is what I quite like. So yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of the many reasons that there were a lot of reasons I got out of collecting comics, but one of them was that like you couldn't turn around without it being like, oh, you were reading Batman. Well, you've now got to read Batgirl and Nightwing and 3 issues of this random thing that we've just introduced.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't understand what's happening in Batman. And I'm like, look, mate, do I look like I'm made of money? Absolutely not. I cut my own fringe using a beanie hat. Like, So, that's interesting. Like, I have a low tolerance for the Joker. So, an interesting premise like this would be interesting to me, I think, because I am sort of done with him as a villain.
No, I'm
bored of him now. I'm like, come on, move on.
Yeah, for years I've been bored of the Joker. But the way they do him in this and his relationship with Batman and how they kind of view each other, especially how he views Batman, I think is really cleverly done.
Cool.
On that perspective, yeah. And I don't think you don't need to know the ins and outs of Batman lore, as it were. You just need to know like the main sort of players and the main villains, which, let's be honest, anyone who's seen a Batman film will know who they are. So there's nothing like you need to have read Batman issue 4, 5, 6, 8 to get it. So yeah, Batman White Knight, check it out, people.
Excellent, eh? Well, I think that's an episode in the bag.
I think it is.
In it, bruv.
In it, though.
Hey, if you want to get in touch with us, do us a little poke on the socials at Geek Syndicate and at Stacey's Parlour. Go and have a listen to episode 150 of Stacey's Pop Culture Parlour, because it's me and Barry, but it's like an hour and a half long.
It's large for an hour and a half, people. Yeah,
man. If this is the kind of shit you like to hear, then imagine like an extra hour of it. Booyah.
Yeah.
Job done. And that's it. So what was it? What was my sign off going to be? Because I was bad at saying goodbye.
I was going to say we out, but that's already taken.
That's Keith. Oh, it was you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, everyone. Bye.
Bye all.